What are we thinking? Do we have time to run walls?
Touchdown! Oh, Kenyon Drake! A miracle! Miraculous in Miami!
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
Philly special. Ready?
It's Hester trying to work it back to the middle. Gets past the first wave, and here he goes. It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown. And no flag, 92 yards.
What's happening? Welcome to Far From Lombardi. This week, it's finally happened. It's just me. Just me. Just the big man. I'm the best one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the three other lads have finally found excuses to leave me solo. Let's see what's going on. Tony, as you know, last week was arrested. We thought it was just for selling trading cards. It turned out he's been selling a lot more. Let's say worse images. We all thought that'd be Tom, who'd be the one getting caught doing that, but it turns out it was Tony. So we're all a bit surprised. We just like to distance ourselves away from anything to do with Tony Plant at this current time. If it's all turned out to be not true, of course he'll be welcome back on, but let's be honest, who knows? Mark's got off. He's not here. He's, where is he? Let's see, he did tell me where he was. He said, I can't make it because I've had an incident. And I think what he means by an incident is sometimes he does this. He forgets to breathe. And he's forgot to breathe. And it's been too long before he's remembered. He's passed out. So now he's going to have a few days off. So hopefully he starts remembering to breathe again. Get well soon, Mark. Tom's not here, obviously. Couldn't tell you why Tom's here. Last I heard, he was going around his local council estate trying to lick cats. Apparently he's so desperate for another pandemic, another 15 months off, that he's going to try anything. He heard about the fella in China that he wet a bat. So he's just round his local council estate now licking cats, hoping for the best. So that's why the three boys aren't here. So it's just me. So listen, don't be expecting fact. Well, for starters, don't expect news. There's no news this week. I'm not doing it. It's Mark's job. I'm not doing Mark's job. Because it starts out with the news, and then what happens? It's the news this week. What happens next year? Next year, I'm in Lidl. I'm being OCD with the beans. And I'm being OCD with the way the beans going. And everyone's coming in going, oh, mate, I've heard you selling, like, scuba gear. And I've got to be like, no, mate, it's the Aldi. The Aldi's the scuba gear. That's the middle aisle in the Aldi. It's not the Lidl. And then everyone's looking at me disappointed, like it's my fault that we're no longer selling scuba gear. Not that we ever were. So, yeah, I'm not doing Mark's job because it's a slippery slope and I won't go down it. Shout out to the Lidl, though, because they do sell snack helmets, so every now and again they get it right. Yes, there's going to be no news this week. This week's podcast is pretty much going to be bullshit, because that's what I'm good at. So expect a lot of bullshit from me. It's going to be pure vibes. We'll go through the games. I won't talk to you about them, because let's be honest, I haven't watched them all. But I've watched as many as I can, and we'll just vibe off it. And we'll see how we get on, and we'll see if it's any good. So bear with me. And apologies for the fact that it's only me, but like I say, I'm the best one, so who cares? Let's crack on. First game, Texans-Panthers, Thursday night. Who'd have thought it? Panthers run out 15 points leaders. Texans actually did look a bit feisty in this for a little while, and then the Panthers just kept pushing on, kept pressing, and eventually the Texans gave in. What else are they going to do? They've got no one there. The best player is currently sitting out because who knows whether he's a rapist or who knows if he's a rapist or he's he's on strike. So who knows which is the reason why, but he's never playing for the Texans again. Pick your poison as to why. Tyrod Taylor, who'd spent the first 2 weeks balling out, has once again got injured. Unfortunately, the unluckiest quarterback in the NFL. Well, him or Colin Kaepernick. So he's not there. Davis Mills plays the longest neck in football. He's done all right for a bit. And then eventually the Panthers just overpowered them. Unfortunately for the Panthers, C-Mac got injured in the second quarter, I think. He's now going to be out for a few weeks. So Panthers going 3-0. Can they carry on the run without the star player? Who knows? But Sam Darnold still looks good. Still got all the wide receivers. Let's hope for the best. Next game, Chargers 30, Chiefs 24. What do we say about this game? It's the second week in a bounce of watching Chiefs lose a close game. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. I think the worst thing is we're just expected to win these games now. Every time the ball's in Patrick Mahomes' hands, you're expecting if he's got a chance to win the game, he's going to do it. He didn't this time. He threw a turnover. Party is sitting there thinking, well, who do you blame? Chiefs have got a terrible defense, but they're not making moves on offense anymore either. Tyreek Hill is being double teamed. Teams are concentrating on Kelsey. He still went for over 100 yards in this game. But the Chiefs used to be very much pick your poison. And at the moment, they're struggling. Because it feels like Mahomes just doesn't trust that third option. And it's showing now. He's trying to force the ball to Hill. He's looking for Kelsey. And if that's not there, it's like he just doesn't trust who's going to be the next man to make a play. And the Chiefs need to find that man quick. And they might have done it today. I just read before. They signed Josh Gordon. So maybe he's the man. I don't know. I don't fully trust it myself. How many times do you want to make a comeback? But on the other side of the ball, on the other side of the pitch, Chargers were very good. It managed to rush the ball with 4 men. Joey Bosa is incredible. Justin Herbert is incredible. Justin Herbert is coming to the league, and he is exactly what Mahomes was. He's blown the league away. He broke the rookie record last year for touchdowns. The way he's got players like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, we've all seen for a number of years have been decent wide receivers. He's now turning them to elite wide receivers. You see Keenan Allen going up for contested catches, and you're thinking, wow. You look at him like, bloody hell, he's winning catches like DeAndre Hopkins here. And you're thinking, where's he been? And it's not like he's had bad quarterbacks, because he's had Phillip Rivers. So it's not like he's been there and he's had a bad quarterback and he's not really shown himself. Everyone knows Keenan Allen's been a good player. But underneath, with Justin Herbert throwing the ball, he's exceptional. Like he's a different player altogether. Same as Mike Williams. Everyone's always known he's a decent target. But with Justin Herbert throwing the ball, he's now a top 10 wide receiver. Like, well, at least his numbers are. And with Austin Eckler there, still running the ball, they're showing the offensive line looks good for the Chargers. They're a real deal. They are a real, especially with Derwin James and that team. They're a real deal. And part of me watching this game was thinking, it's all right. Chargers taking the lead at half-time, that's fine. As long as the Chiefs have still got a chance, Chargers are going to charge you. And they never. And that 4th and 4 call, I think it was a 4th and 9 in the end. That 4th and 9 call, we decided, you know what? We're still going to go for this and keep the ball in our hands. And we're going to win this game rather than asking the Chiefs to lose it. With this, that's the difference. That's the Chargers we've never seen before. And having that coaching ability and stuff, having that, not a coaching ability, having that mentality in that team and with that quarterback is going to make a huge difference to the Chargers. And they're showing they're a real deal. Jaguars, Cardinals, not much to say about this. Jags, again. No, well, not again. Jags for the first time looked a bit plucky. Urban Meyer come out, didn't he, before last week, and was saying, give us a chance. We're going to win a game. We just need to get there. Just stick with us. And for a bit, it was like, oh, maybe there's a reason why he's saying it. Maybe he's seen something we haven't. And they were hanging with the Cardinals until eventually they weren't. Trevor Lawrence just looks a little bit lost. I feel sorry for him a little bit. He's there. He's trying his best. He had a touchdown throw, which was incredible. But then he's throwing interceptions. And he's making throws where you're thinking, that is a standard rookie throw. That is the kind of throw you'd expect of a rookie quarterback who needs time to learn and grow. Not of the kind of quarterback that we expect to come into the league and blow us away, because that's how much talent he has. So it's exciting. It's a worrying sign for me for Trevor Lawrence, because you think, just don't ruin him. Don't ruin someone who's clearly that good. And it does worry you. But hopefully Jags can get it right. As for Cardinals, Kyler Murray, we said last week, has made a massive step up, and he's just continued it. And he'll continue to do it. And with that, he's got AJ Green making plays, DeAndre Hopkins. I know they don't need a run game because they're an air raid offense, but they can get themselves a run game on top to grind out them close matches. The Cardinals, again, they're another real deal. The Browns, Bears. Just what do you want? The Bears are in turmoil now. I like Matt Nagy. Used to be a Chiefs coach. I liked when he went to the Bears and he got Coach of the Year, and I thought, Andy Reid talked well of him. Always talked him up. Always said how he's one of the best coaches he's had. One of the coaches most ready for head coaching. But outside of that first year, what's he done for the Bears? And it's just getting worse and worse. And something there needs to change. And you can argue saying, well, there's a new quarterback in, give him a chance to work with him. But at some point in this game, Justin Fields had 29 yards, but had lost 29 yards to sacks. Why are you bringing in a new quarterback and you can't protect him? You're leaving him out there for the Wolves. The Browns had come and they were slow starting. They were slow to get started, but once they did, the Bears just couldn't keep up with them. I think it was something like 9 sacks, 11 hits. Justin Fields got. Give him a chance. Give him something. You've got a star wide receiver there, Allen Robinson, but you've got to give him a chance to. Got to protect him a little bit. You've got to let him grow into the NFL. I know I've just been saying we're not doing it. We're not expecting a lot from Lawrence, but that's because of the way Lawrence hype. Maybe Lawrence has been hyped too much coming into the NFL. But for Justin Fields, you've got to give him a chance. And as for the Browns, they're a solid team. I expected them to blow them out even more than this, but at one point they started playing the B team, should we call it, the second string players. But the Browns did the job that needed. They roll on 2-1, and not much. You can't really gain anything about the Browns from this game. The first close game they've had was the Chiefs that they lost in week 1. Since then, they dispatched 2 teams they should dispatch. They let the Texans get a little bit too close for a portion of the game. They're a bit slow to start against the Bears for a portion of the game. It'd be interesting to see them come up against another top team, another contender, and see if they can start quick like they did against the Chiefs and maintain it the whole game. Because at the moment, they look great. They've got a brilliant roster, but they need a full 60 minutes. Bills 43, Washington 21. This flattered Washington, this scoreline. A lot of points in garbage time. Bills were just blew them away from the off. After the shaky start, the Bills in week 1, it now looks like they've got themselves going. It's interesting to see whether week 1 is going to show itself again and the Bills are going to be a patchy team, or whether this is a case of, okay, they come in with a lot of expectation. They come in, people expecting a lot from them, and they've got a bit nervous in week 1. And now they've had a couple of weeks to prepare and go. They're going for it. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Bills move on. There's a lot of talk about with the Chiefs being 1-2, Chargers looking so good. Is it Bills looking great? Is there a chance for the Bills to finally clinch top seed in the AFC West? And I think it's far too early for any of that yet. Washington, they look lost. Their defensive line and their whole defensive unit is meant to be. It's meant to be top 3, top 5. It's meant to be pristine, elite, and they're just not showing it. They're not getting to the quarterback. They're not covering well. There's too much space to run in behind them. They're a team that looks like last year they looked like they'd set themselves an identity. They got to the playoffs and everyone was looking for them to build on it. I can't wait to see what they're going to be next year. Can't wait to see what they're going to be next year. Well, next year's come and they fell flat. And you're thinking, what the fuck's happened? It's reminiscent of, we'll talk about that in a minute, reminiscent of the Dolphins, where you're like, they've built and built, and you're like, this next step's going to be exceptional. But they've yet to make it. And I don't think that's because of the quarterback or because of their situation with Washington. I think it's just a case of what they do well, they've yet to start producing. When they do, they might be a different team altogether. But what they've got not to do, what they've not got to let happen is for the division and for the playoffs to get too far away, so they're having to give themselves too much, and then they start struggling because they've let the season get away from them, and it's all claw and black to nothing. I think they need to turn around. They need it quick if they're going to get anything out of this season. Moving on, Titans Colts. Solid game for the Titans. Ran Derrick Henry 31 times. The Colts, though, I didn't think you learned much from these two, except for the Titans are probably going to win this division because the Colts are incredibly unlucky. If you look at this game, at some point there was the star safety was out. Quentin Nelson was questionable again. Carson Wentz has only got two ankles. Carson Wentz has only got two ankles. Carson Wentz hasn't got a fifth ankle. He can't run. He can't evade the sack. He's just taking hits because he's having to hold onto the ball because he can't move. But they don't trust any of the other QBs there at all, so they can't take Wentz out the game. They're being ravaged by injuries, and unless something happens there quick, it might be a case for the Colts. Their whole season's going to be like this for the whole. It's going to be injury ravaged. It might be a case where they might be better, like a bit like the 49ers did a couple of years ago, and even a bit last year. You know what? Write this season off. We've got a good roster. We know we're here. We know we're in a championship window. Let's have this season gone. Get everyone fit and healthy. Get a high draft pick that can help us and push on next year. Because with the Colts, it was so promising pre-season, and like the roster's so promising, but it's not delivering. And I don't think it's just on them. I don't think it's just on coaching. I think the way they've been hit by injuries this year, and they've rushed Quentin Nelson back, they've rushed Carson Wentz back, and it's clear they've gone, well, this is our window, let's go for it. Well, unfortunately, your window's quickly closing, and it might be better to keep that window ajar next year by having a higher draft pick than trying to force players to play through injury. As for the Titans, we know what the Titans are. We know who they are. They continue to show it this week. You couldn't learn anything by them by playing such an injury-ravaged Colts, except that give Derrick Henry the ball and watch what happens. Patriots 13, Saints 28. Lo and behold, the Patriots aren't a good team when they're not playing the Jets. Who'd have thought it? Shock, horror. When you're not playing the worst team in football, you're not a great team. And the Patriots are just getting shown up again. There's a lot of talk on Patriots Twitter about how it was never Belichick now. It was all Brady. Well, have a bit of faith, I'd say. Patriots have always been slow starters. But guess what? The Patriots are who we thought they were. They're not an elite team. Just because they beat the Jets didn't suddenly put them back to being an elite team. They lost to the Dolphins in week 1. They beat the Jets, and now they've lost to a half-decent Saints team. Because the Saints aren't an elite team anymore either. But they're elite enough to beat the Patriots. The Patriots aren't the team they thought. Everyone needs to get off the whole Mac Jones hype. Mac Jones is a safe quarterback. They're no better off with Mac Jones than they were with Cam. That's how I feel anyway. They can't get the tight ends moving. They pay the tight ends a whole lot of money, and they can't get them going. Teams are scoring points on them quite easily. The Patriots, like I say, it's going to take them a while to get going, so I don't want to write them off too soon. But they're not the Patriots anymore. They're not who they were. We need to forget about them for now. And if they can sneak into the playoffs like Washington did last year, good for them. But they're not going to do anything. They're not a franchise anyone needs to worry about. And if this comes to biting me on the arse in 16 weeks' time, so be it. But I'm saying now, the Patriots are not there yet. They are in a rebuild, and it's going to take them longer to do than I think even they expect. It takes more than a couple of decent tight end signings and a couple of defensive pieces to make you into a team, especially when Tom Brady isn't there. As for the Saints, guess who the Saints are? They're a decent team. They can put to bed an average Patriots team. Jameis Winston, last week we saw him throw an interception while he's falling over being wrapped up. This week he throws a completion while he's falling over being wrapped up. Jameis Winston's still Jameis Winston. The Saints are still a Saints. They've got Kamara. They've got stars there. They're going to do okay. They'll probably get into the playoffs as a wild card. But are they going to do any damage? Probably not. They're probably showing themselves now. It's nice that they're still fighting. It's nice to get the excitement of the Saints are now 2-1, and they've beat a Patriots team. But as I just said, they haven't beat anyone. They've beat an average side. Like the Saints, again, haven't showed themselves just yet. They're not the Browns. They're not the Bills. They're not the Chargers. You're not looking at them and thinking, oh, wow, when they click even more, when they really get going, they're going to be scary then. The Saints are just, are they being coached well? Are they getting the best out of the talent they've got there? Now, when Michael Thomas comes in, maybe that all changes. Maybe having that superstar receiver there changes everything. But for now, the Saints are just a good team, and they've put to bed a average Patriots team. But it's exciting. It's good to see. It keeps the division alive. Giants, Falcons, not worth talking about. Falcons winning a field goal. Giants are just woeful. The Falcons are woeful. Both of these had the chance last year to blow it up and do something different. Both of them chose not to. Stick with the QBs they've got, and they're both going to pay the price for it now. And both of them best hope there's talent coming out of college next year, because they both need it desperately. Steelers, Bengals. Steelers 10, Bengals 24. I think we all knew what was happening here. Well, we didn't all know. We predicted last week, me and Tony did, not Tony, wasn't here, me and Tom predicted last week that the Bengals could go to the Steelers and win, and the Bengals went to the Steelers and dominated. Big Ben looks lost. He's immobile. If you get to him, he can't move. They need to get the run game going with Najee Harris. They tried to force it through Najee Harris's hands this week and really get going. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And until they find a way to get that run game going and to get their offense moving, there's no point having the defense that they have. Without TJ Watt, they struggle to get to Joe Burrows as much. But without that, the defense they've got is elite. It is a great defense. But unfortunately, if your offense can't keep the ball or keep you on sustained drives, then your defense is tired. Your defense is going to put up points. And the defense is a reaction game. It's a reactive game. And unfortunately, it's harder to react when you're knackered because you can't get the ball. Lions 17, Ravens 19. Ravens struggled this. They had a few injuries. Big game they won with against the Chiefs last week, and they looked tired because of it, to be honest. Lions, though, looking plucky. You saw what happened week 1 against the 49ers. They stayed in the game. Last week they were blown out, but they still putting up points. They're still fighting. The Lions this year are what Panthers were last year. They're fighting for everything. They're plucky. They've got a chance. Now, are they going to do anything? Probably not. But it shows that Dan Campbell's building something there. Something that you can look at and go, right, I see what he's doing. And pre-season, we all mocked him. Or whole biting knees, going to get up and bite your knee again. And we're going to fight for everything. And we all was like, oh, what a tit. What's he talking about? But now you're starting to see what he's talking about. Okay, no one's had the knee bit. But they're a team who's fighting. There's a team with a personality. And you look at them and you go, you want them to do well. You do. Like, you want Jamal Williams to do well. You listen to his post-match interview and you're like, I like him. I like you. Jared Goff, whatever's happened to him in the Rams, he still party thinks he's just a nice kid. You want him to do all right. So I'm looking at the Lions and I'm wanting the Lions to do well. And they're sticking in games. And soon they're going to get a big scalp. They're going to be with a team and they're going to get a big scalp. Broncos, Jets, not even worth talking about. The Jets are miserable. Miserable. Zach Wilson is lost. They can't protect him, especially against any time they come with a decent defensive line. They can't do anything. Broncos just did what they had to do. Teddy Bridgewater carries on moving the rock, and the Broncos move forward. Broncos with a couple of injuries. Cortland Sutton's obviously still there, but Jared Judy's out. The other Williams running back, I don't know if he's called Jamal as well, so I don't want to make the mistake. He showed signs of being a good running back in this game, but again, against the Jets, you can't judge anyone. But the Broncos are doing everything that's been asked of them so far. People are talking about them having the shallowest 3-0 in the NFL, but 3-0 is 3-0. You put a team in front of them, and they're beating them. Same with the Raiders. Raiders 31, Dolphins 28. The Raiders keep winning, and you can't argue. I'll be honest, I don't think they can do that. I think eventually they'll come up short, but who knows? But for now, they're still winning. They're still moving the ball. They're still... Derek Carr doesn't look like the Derek Carr that we know. Will he revert to type at some point? Again, I think he will. The more interesting thing in this match is the Dolphins. Every year under Brian Flores, they've got better. You see, you see him build that defense, build the defensive backs up, and you're thinking, oh, that Dolphins team, if that offense clicks, they're going to be a hell of a team. And then Tua's come in, had a shaky start last year, started this season, you're thinking, oh, I'm not that impressed with him. He's now gone out with injury. Jacoby Brissett's there. But to be fair to Brissett, in this game, he fought for everything. He fought to get the Dolphins back into this game, take it to overtime. He fought to get them there, but everything's a struggle with the Dolphins offensively at the moment, and it shouldn't be, especially with the talent they've got there. They've got talent there that's ready to go off, but unfortunately, they haven't got a leader there on the offensive side of the ball to get them going. And until they find that, they're going to struggle. Like I say, I wouldn't surprise me if you saw a new quarterback there before week 8, before the trade deadline. I'd expect to see Deshaun Watson. Rams 34, Buccaneers 24. I've said for a couple of weeks, I think the Buccaneers are going to come up short at some point. I think I'm a bit harsh on them. I do think they're going to get to the playoffs again, obviously. Will he win a Super Bowl again? They'll have to start clicking a bit more. Rams look incredible. That Rams defense last year was number one. You know why. Aaron Donald. They got the best defensive tackle in the game. They got the best cornerback in the game. All the other pieces fit nice. But the difference they've got this year is Matthew Stafford and the fact that they can protect him. And again, like I said about the Chargers, with Williams and Keelan Allen, both decent receivers. Well, in the Rams, we've always had Robert Woods. We've always had Cooper Kupp. We've always fought good receivers. But with Stafford, the next level. With Stafford throwing them the ball, they're not just the good receivers anymore. They're the best receivers. They are the receiving. Their receiving core is just shining constantly. And now they've added Deshaun Jackson to it, to going over the top. And all of a sudden, Deshaun Jackson's been gone for 4 or 5 years. Not done much in the NFL. He's shown flashes of brilliance of what he used to be. And now at the Rams, he's showing flashes again, but you believe in it because you believe in Stafford and you believe in McVay. And to me, it's the Rams Super Bowl. It's theirs to lose. I can't see anyone topping them in that NFC. And I think they look every bit of a Super Bowl team at 3-0. I'm saying about other teams, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't write them off too soon. But with the Rams, I think they look... We saw them when they went to the Super Bowl. And we saw them with Todd Gurley and Goff and the play action. And McVay looked great. And the defense looked great. And Party thought, these are the complete team. And then obviously, Todd Gurley got injured. And it showed Jared Goff's deficiencies. But this time, they haven't got their running game going yet. Darrell Henderson's done okay over 3 games. He was injured this game. Sony Michel came in, did okay. Obviously, he's against the Bucs run defense, one of the best in the league. So you can't think too much into it. But their run game's yet to get going. But everything else has got going. And you know McVay's going to get that run game going. And to me, the Rams are the most complete roster in the NFL, and they're showing it. Vikings 30, Seahawks 17. This game, on Seahawks-wise, is just a microcosm of their season. Start well, blow the team away, offensively look great, and then just suddenly start struggling. Out of nowhere, you can't move the ball, you can't make any completions. Russell Wilson's running around, not really risking and not really putting himself out there, making, we would say, questionable decisions because he's feeling rushed, he's feeling panicked. While the Vikings came into this game 0-2, knew they needed the win to keep the season alive. Looked great. Kirk Cousins doing what Kirk Cousins can do. Puts the ball in the right place, makes good decisions. You give him time, you give him space, and he can do that. When he's rushed, when he's hurried, that's when you start questioning him. Seahawks couldn't get near him today. They've got no real defensive rush outside of Jamal Adams. There's no one there that puts a fear into the offensive line. So they couldn't get near Kirk Cousins today, and he's done exactly what Kirk Cousins does. They've got elite wide receivers. Justin Jefferson coming back, growing back into the season, Adam Thielen looks great. Alexander Matheson there, the running back. Dalvin Cook, when he went out injured for this game, there was a question of, well, the Vikings team is Dalvin Cook. That's how it feels watching them. But then Matheson comes in, it's like, oh, maybe not. Maybe Dalvin, maybe it isn't all about Dalvin. Maybe the Vikings as a whole and that scheme can run the ball. So if they can carry on doing that, and if they can start splitting carries between themselves and keeping Cousins clean and allowing him time and space to make his passes, the Vikings could be a real danger. But as they've shown the first 2 weeks, at any point with that team, they can capitulate and maybe they'll do it again. Or maybe this will be the start of a good run. Last game of the week, because I'm recording this on Monday night, so we haven't seen Cowboys-Eagles, but it was 49ers 28, Packers 30. Packers started off this game strong. 1 point they were 17-0. And the 49ers continued to do what they do. Jimmy Garoppolo got his team back into it, but Party looks at him and thinks, why? They started slow. So you're looking at Garoppolo and you're thinking, at some point Trey Lance is going to come in. It might not come in to take over from Garoppolo, but come in for some sort of special play, some sort of scheme, some sort of trick play where they're going to get something. They're going to push the ball down the field. But Garoppolo's with that. Every time something like that happens, you're thinking, well, that's another day sooner to seeing him start. But with Garoppolo, the 49ers managed to stay in it. Packers obviously came back. Rodgers led them to a field goal victory with a late drive. Bit of squeaky bum time. It showed everything about both these teams. It showed the 49ers can be attacked downfield. It showed that that Aaron Rodgers can still be great. But also at any point, you just don't trust this Packers team. Any point this team, again, could kill themselves like they did in the championship game in the NFC. And it showed you everything about both these teams. They're both great teams, great coaches, good rosters, but at any point they could kill themselves. And that's what happened in this game for both of the teams. The Packers managed to rally, get themselves the win. But I had the 49ers go to the Super Bowl pre-season. And the defensive line does look good. But unless they get some more help in the secondary of the defense, then they're not going anywhere because they're there to be attacked. As for Packers, it's the same deficiencies they had last year. They haven't really improved. And as we know with Rodgers, at any point, he wants the down tools, give up, throw a strop. He will do. And who knows what will become of the Packers. So that was week 3. Again, sorry there's no more discussions or talk about tactics or get in depth about the game, but it is just me. Can't be doing that on my own. No one to bounce off. But just pure vibes, innit, mate? Pure vibes. So moving on, little fantasy rounds up. Let me get my fantasy up. Start off with our charity one. The Charity Fantasy League, we got... Pretty sure I got mauled. Yep. Charity Fantasy League, I lost 145 to 123. A little bit closer than expected. Apparently I still got a 6% chance of winning. CD Lamb against Miles Sanders. If CD Lamb outscores Miles Sanders by 22 points, then the comeback's on. But let's be honest, I'm not expecting that. Dallas has got a poor run defense, and the Eagles got a poor pass defense. So I'm expecting big points from both of them. So not enough they're going to see me through unless everything goes through CD Lamb tonight, including 4 touchdowns. That I'm not expecting a chance to win. So with that, Taz UK is probably going to go 2-1. We're going to go 1-2. Taz, just want to say, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I genuinely, right, Taz, you know why you're sitting at home today? In the morning when you go to make your toast and you see you've got the victory, Miles Sanders done just enough, CD Lamb's he's probably going to go off. He's probably going to get me loads of points, but not enough to win it, because Miles Sanders is going to do just enough to keep you in, keep you W. So you know when that happens, and you go down, you make your toast for the morning. I hope someone has turned the toastiness up on your toaster too much, and you've not realised, and you're there just making your toast, and you're waiting for it to pop, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's going to pop soon. You make your cup of tea, and your toast pops, and it's burnt. And you think, oh, for fuck's sake, you have to throw 2 slices of toast away. You don't want to scrape it. You're thinking, no, I'll do it again. So you put your toast in, and you get distracted. And you think, oh, fuck's sake, I haven't turned the toastiness down. And it pops again. And it's 2 more burnt slices of toast. And this time you think, fuck it. You're standing over the bin, you're scraping. You're scraping. You're scraping. You think, oh, can I salvage this? You try and salvage it. You load it with butter. Think it might make it a bit more moist. And you're eating it. And you're like, oh, no, it hasn't. It's just cardboard. And it's a shit start to your day. And then that day just gets progressively worse. Started off with the toast. And then you've got no fuel. There's a fuel shortage. You go to get some. Your local garage hasn't got any. You've got to go to a further garage away. You sit in a queue. You're late for work. Your day's getting progressively worse as it goes on. You go for your lunch. You decide you're going to treat yourself to a nice lunch because you've had a shit tea. You've had a shit morning. Shit breakfast. So you go and get yourself a nice special lunch, except it's sold out. Wherever you go for your lunch, that's sold out. So you're there just like, for fuck's sake, what do I do? What do I do? You end up having a bland lunch. You fall back on something else. You go, ugh. Your day gets progressively worse. Well, I hope that happens to you. I hope it happens to you tomorrow. I hope it happens to you for the rest of the week. So fuck you, Taz. Go fuck yourself. I'm going to tell the children of Alder Hay that you're taking money off them. Poor kids. If any casualties, it's all on you, Taz. It's all on you. Let's look at our list of the league next. See how we've gone on there. And I've lost. I've lost to Eskimo Brothers, which is State, who's 1 position behind me. Can't see. Oh, hold on. Oh. Lamb, Sanders, Prescott. Can they score 130 points between them? It's a tall order. I can't see it happening. I can't. But I'm going to remain hopeful. Let's see how the rest of the league's gone on, eh? Look at the scoreboard. I've probably lost to Eskimo Brothers. Sheehan. Ooh. Sheehan's pissed Tom. Tom's got 2 players left to play. But there can't be any of the good ones because I've got them. So Sheehan is going to go to 2-1. Tom to 1-2. Oh, Mark. Mark could have his first win. He's up against Wes. Winning for Wes, which is Mike. Nice little shout out to around the NFL there. And Mike is waiting on Amari Cooper. Mike just needs 11 points off Amari Cooper to top Mark. Send Mark to 0-3. And to bottom of the fantasy, which, let's be honest, happens every year. And last but not least, Callum is playing Tony, and he's been absolutely smashed. Putting Tony at 2-1. Callum giving Callum his first loss, unfortunately. So that is the fantasy roundup. Let's move on and look at the games ahead. I'll get Sky Bet up, but this isn't going to have all the games. So any other games coming in, I'll check out in a minute. Start off the week, Cincinnati Bengals with Jacksonville Jaguars. There's only one place this is going, Bengals. I think this could be a game where Jaguars run it even closer than last time. I don't know what the handicap is. Let's check it out. Handicap betting. Ooh, 7. I wouldn't really touch it for 7. I think Jaguars keep this game quite close. But yeah, let's look at a match winner. Right, Sunday, we've got Falcons at Washington. Hopefully a get-right game for Washington, I think. I'd back them to come away with the win. The fact that both even money, though, is interesting, but Matt Ryan, aging quarterback, bad offensive line. I expect this is a get-right game for Washington and the D-line take it. I personally, I'm going to back Washington because I think it's going to be a lot, not as close as the bookies have got it. Bills, Texans, it's only going one way. It's going to Bills. They're going to blow them out, unfortunately, unfortunately, Texans. You've been plucky this year so far. Everyone's sort of got back on board with you, but you're not compared to the Bills. Bears, Lions. Hate to say this. Sorry, Ian. But for me, this goes Lions' way. I wouldn't bet on it. But for me, the Lions have shown more fight and more spirit in them, whereas the Bears seem to be going the opposite way. And if you can't protect Justin Fields, I don't care if it's even just the Lions, I think you're going to struggle. And I think this is where the Lions come out with the first win. Dolphins, Colts. Oh, this could be a good game. Again, either way. Jacoby Brissett for the Dolphins. I'm assuming it's going to still be Carson Wentz for the Colts. I want to say the Dolphins. I think the Colts have got too many injuries. But after watching them on Sunday, everything's just hard work with them. And it wouldn't be surprising me if they lose against the Colts. Vikings v Browns. As good as the Vikings looked last week against the Seahawks, I think the Browns are just a different team altogether. They're going to run the ball down the neck. They're going to play it safe. And I think the Browns come away with this victory. I don't think they blow them out, but I don't think the Vikings are really... They've always got a chance, but I think you've got to go Cleveland all day. Saints, Giants, we all know it's going Saints' way. I'd bet on that one. I'd stay clear of the other three. Jets, Titans, there's only one way it's going. Give Derrick Henry the ball and watch him run. Rams, Cardinals, interesting one. Now, as the back Cardinals, I'm saying the Cardinals better team than the Bucks. I don't think they are. I think the Rams, like I say, it's the Rams Super Bowl to win. So I'd only take the Rams in this, but I think it's going to be a good game. You've got a mobile quarterback with Kyler Murray. He's going to be able to get away from Donald a bit, be able to extend drives, extend plays. And I think it's going to keep the Cardinals in this game. I would still expect the Rams to win. I would back the Rams to win, but I think this is going to be a good game, well worth watching. It's going to be one of the ones closer than you expect. Broncos v Ravens. Again, close. Good game. Teddy Bridgewater plays it safe. Lamar Jackson can run. It's the defensive line. I'm not sure Bradley Chubb's going to be back for the Broncos. I don't think so. To me, I'd go Ravens. I think Ravens got a good defensive unit. I think it'll be the first real test for the Broncos. I think they'll try and play it safe. I think if Lamar can get going and get a couple of players back from injury for the Ravens, then I expect them to have just enough to overcome Broncos. Patriots, Bucks. It's only going one way. It's the Bucks. The Bucks are going to destroy them. I think the Bucks are going to absolutely destroy them. I expect Bill Belichick to... What can you throw at Tom Brady he's not seen before? Bill Belichick's the best defensive coach we've ever seen. But there's nothing you can possibly throw at Tom Brady he's not already seen. And unfortunately, it's just going to leave... With Mac Jones and that defense, Patriots are a running team now. Brooks are the best run defense in the league. Fortunately, Tom Brady's going to go in to New England and absolutely tear them a new arsehole. And the best thing about it is he's going to break the passing yard record for the most passing yards in the NFL ever in Foxborough. And I bet that crowd cheers for him when he does, because they're all a gang of knobheads. Saying that, I really enjoyed Boston when I went. Chiefs, so upcoming Chiefs, Eagles. That obviously game wasn't mentioned. I think get right game for the Chiefs. I think they blow away the Eagles. I think Eagles probably hang around for a little bit longer than you expect because they got that running game and the Chiefs can't defend the run. But for me, this is a massive get right game for the Chiefs and they blow them out. Jags, Bengals, we talked about. Lions, Bears, we talked about. Washington, Falcons, we talked about. Colts, Dolphins, we talked about. Titans, Jets, talked about. Texans, Bills, talked about. Browns, Vikings, Panthers, Cowboys. Oof. No C-Mac. But the best defense in the NFL currently, Panthers. But I love that Cowboys offense. 50-50 game this for me. I wouldn't bet on it. I think you have to push me. I think the Cowboys give the Panthers the first loss. I just think there's too much going on in that Panthers offense. And with no C-Mac, no superstar gone, I think the Cowboys will have enough in them to outscore the Panthers. Giants, Saints, we talked about. Cardinals, Rams, we talked about. Seahawks, 49ers could go either way. Again, another 50-50 game. Now you're probably thinking, get off the fence, Rob. But it is defense. Russell Wilson, let Russ cook is the big saying. Russ could cook against the 49ers. They've got a terrible, terrible secondary in the defense. If he attacks that with Metcalf, Lockett, in fact, I've just made my mind up. Seahawks beat the 49ers. But I think we'll learn a lot about both teams here. Whichever team comes out victorious, you'll feel a little bit better than. Packers are going to annihilate the Steelers. It's just Big Ben. Big Ben's not there anymore. They can't get the run going. There's nothing on that offense that scares the Packers. And there's plenty on the Packers offense that scares the Steelers. Ravens, Broncos, we talked about. Bucks, Patriots, we talked about. Raiders, Chargers, 3-0, 3-0. Someone's always got to go. Chargers demolish them and make Raiders look ordinary again. That's what it is for me. I would bet on the Chargers if there was a betting line for it. But it's a little bit too early with it being Monday night. So, yeah, thanks for listening. It was just me this week. Hope you're all right. Sorry for the disappointment. If you're thinking, where's the cunt shouts? Where's the arguing? Where's them getting heated up? But unfortunately, there was no one here but me. I've tried my best. Thanks for supporting us. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back next week with more of us. I hope you're all right. Hope you do well. Fuck anyone else in the fancy league that's not me. Fuck Tony. I hope he goes down. Fuck Tom. I hope he licks the wrong cat, gets rabies. Fuck Mark. Just because he's Mark. And he's probably sitting in Lidl now, counting, weighing each bean tin to make sure that exact grams that they say on the side. But yeah, thanks for listening. Ta-ra.